All right, I think we have everybody on stage. Let's go ahead and kick this off. Welcome to Secret Spaces, everybody. Thanks for coming. This is a weekly Twitter Spaces featuring ecosystem news and contributors to Secret Network. And today we have some pretty cool projects with us. We have three recent grant recipients, and we're going to be hearing about what kind of projects they're building on Secret and how it fits into Secret's overall goals for 2024. Let's see. I think we have everybody we need. So let's go ahead and start with introductions. Gov DAO team, do you want to start off with your introduction?
Yeah, sure. So we are just waiting for Oliver
Oh, okay. Yeah,
to
sorry.
join us as well. So he'll be...
Let's go with another team while you're waiting on Oliver. Page DAO, do you guys want to start?
Okay, cheers.
Sure. Hi, my name's Thomas Dylan Daniel. I'm joined by my co-founders, Indefatigable and Cryptoversal, and we have been since 2021 working on finding the best way to publish books to the blockchain.
Awesome. All right. 50WEI, do you guys want to go? And actually, I just realized I think we have three people from Page DAO up here, and I thought it was somebody from 50WEI, so I think we're still trying to get them on stage too. Sorry about that. Skrilla, do you want to go ahead since you're up here? Hopefully Oliver will be here soon.
Yeah, he's just joining now, so he's going to request to speak. Hey guys, my name's Skrilla. I, spent several years working with teams in Secret Network and over at Secret Agency, and I recently moved over to Gov DAO as head of partnerships. There's two sides to Gov DAO. So one side is a blockchain legal and regulatory advisory, and the other side is a technology company. So we are developing some DAO tooling for specifically for like enterprise clients, and we have got a lot of requests for privacy features. So hence why we submitted a grant to Secret Network to build out some features with privacy in mind. And yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Can't wait to hear about the other couple of projects.
Awesome. Thanks, Skrilla. I think we're still waiting on 50WEI to get here, but I think we'll have to just go ahead and kick things off, and we'll let them do their introduction once they get here. So as we said, these are three of the five projects that were, well, three of the five teams that were approved for a grant. We recently relaunched the Secret Labs grant program. That was in December. And over the past month, we've been meeting with these teams and going over milestones and discussing what they're trying to build and seeing if it's a good fit for the ecosystem. And on January 19th, we put out an announcement about five teams that have been selected to receive a grant. And these five teams are going to be working on four different projects, basically. Two of these teams, Page DAO and 50WEI, are kind of working closely together to build a singular project because what they were trying to do was kind of related in a way. So we'll go into more of that in just a little bit. But I guess to start off, Alex or Heist, do you guys want to talk just from a high level about this new grants program and how things have been going so far? Like,
Yeah,
what are the goals? What are
I'll
the
be happy
overall
to
goals of
start.
this grants program, and how does it differ maybe from the past grants program?
Yeah, so again, happy to be here. For us, those have been like 6 weeks of intensive work with a lot of teams, and we had to choose the teams that we can provide grants in this quarter. So taking a step back, so this updated grant program, the goal of the program is to be obviously to support the ecosystem, support developers with interesting projects, bring usage to the Secret Network, and promote our overall agenda, which is becoming the confidential computing layer for all of Web3. That's in terms of the philosophy and the goals. In terms of the process, we wanted to make this grant program more structured. than it used to be at Secret before. So what we plan to do this year is we plan to have 4 cohorts or 4 installments of the grant program, one every quarter, with very clear timelines, with clear budget, and with a small number of projects that we want to support. So we said that we'll be supporting 3 to 4 projects only in every cohort, and that's because we need enough time and energy to provide support to those projects, to help them develop, and have support them in marketing wise and so on. So the program is more structured than before, and more limited in terms of the number of projects we want to support. But as we go, that means about 12 to 16 projects per year, which is a big number. I hope we can make it. Now, every quarter we'll be setting a topic or a goal for the grant program that will be preferred in a way. And for this first cohort of 2024, the goal or the topic was set to privacy as a service, and I think 3 out of 4 projects that we selected are in that area. And the idea of privacy as a service, of course, is that we want projects where some part of the application is running outside of the Secret network, on EVM or some other blockchains, and the project uses the confidential computing services on Secret. And that's actually exactly what's happening with the projects that we're talking to today, with Page DAO and Gov DAO, who are actually using confidential NFTs, if I'm using the right term, for Page DAO, with the project, the main application running somewhere outside. And Gov DAO will be using Secret for confidential voting, again with the main application running elsewhere. And of course, the teams will tell more about their ideas and their technology. So that's how it works, and we're super happy with this first cohort because it met our goals. I think we selected great teams, and we're committed to helping the teams to develop and then to promote their project. So I feel it's a great start, and we'll be doing, of course, more of that. The next cohort will probably start early March, but we will be announcing that, of course, separately, so stay tuned.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, so as we mentioned, there were 5 teams that got selected for a grant this quarter, and 3 of them are here with us today. Just wanted to mention that the other 2 will be on next week's Spaces. They had a scheduling conflict, but it also worked out because these 3 teams are kind of working on things that are closely related, and they're actually all 3 going to be using each other's technology in a way. So it worked out well. So let's dive into these projects and see what exactly it is they're building. We also have 2 more people on stage now, one from the 50WEI project. So I wanted to make sure they went ahead and got their introduction in. Reggie, do you want to do that?
Yeah, I can do. Do you hear me well?
I do, yep.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, I'm Regis from 50WEI. So we are kind of a collective of software developer. And interesting story about us is that we met each other during a hackathon for a crypto event. It was in its form, and yeah, we have got I would say, a great feeling on working each other, and we also meet, I would say, the Secret Network technology back there, and yeah, wanted to contribute to this ecosystem. So this is where we are today.
Awesome, thanks. All right, well, let's get started with these project deep dives. Let's start with Page DAO. And Page DAO and 50WEI teams, since you 2 are working so closely together, I'll kind of leave this to you how exactly you want to handle this. Like, who should be speaking? Do you want to present what you're working on separately, or do you want to kind of present it as a singular project?
Well, I think that it makes some amount of sense to present these as a singular project because, like I said, or like Alex said, the privacy as a service integration is kind of the thing that PageDAO is doing, and that is the service that I believe 50WEI is building. What do you think, 50WEI?
Yeah, we can do like that. Maybe if you want, I can just give a brief overview about what the SDK we want to create, and then you can take the lead on I would say, more the implementation that you want to do with PageDAO, if you're fine with that.
Beautiful. Yes, please.
Okay, perfect. So for a grant proposal, we want to propose a way for people to store confidential information by leveraging the Secret Network blockchain. So basically, as we wanted also to use, Secret as a service is a new way of thinking, I would say, the data management. Because right now, if you're using a classical EVM chain, you cannot store confidential information. Is it on chain and anyone can have access? And so if, for example, you want to store confidential information, you can just think that, okay, I'm on the EVM chain. I can send a request directly on the Secret Network chain and store confidential information. And so basically, we want to provide tools for that. So an SDK that allowing anyone to store files directly on the secret chain. And we also want to, I would say, keep the user interaction simple. We don't want the user to, let's say, have two wallets and have a lot of interaction between different chains. We want them to have a single interaction, like a MetaMask, sign on the, I would say, Polygon chain, and then everything will be, everything behind the scene will do the interaction on the other chain. So for a classical usage, we can say, okay, I'm signing on the MetaMask, and then I will send through Axelar, for example, a message on the secret chain, then doing a call to the contract. And then if I want to retrieve the information, so again, on the file, I can directly do it with a query, so without having to send again a message. And so I think for the user perspective, it is, we simplify the process for them because they don't have to manage anything, only one wallet. And then with the SDK, we want also to have the possibility to other to use our technology and maybe have maybe can improve them and also maybe have other specificity for that. So yeah, but at the moment, the main usage would be for storing confidential information, and that could be small or large file. And I'm hoping that for PageDAO, it would be a great use case.
Well, I certainly think it will. We definitely intend to be storing books this way. And just because I kind of skimped on the PageDAO introduction earlier, we started in 2020 working on a project to put all of the books onto blockchains because blockchains are decentralized, durable, and accessible. So basically, this privacy as a service technology is going to make this more possible. It's going to make it easier for us to put books up. It's going to make it possible for someone to own a book with no one else knowing that they own that book. And so for all the literature buffs that are out there, being able to access your content in such a way that everyone else can see everything you do is great for certain things. But there are certain use cases for literature that's not appropriate. And so all of these are going to be enabled by this wonderful partnership facilitated by Secret Network. Indefatigable, would you like to step up and say just a little bit about the PageDAO tech we're planning to build with the 50WEI team?
Sure. Thank you, Dylan, and thank you, 50WEI. Thank you, Secret Labs, for opening this cohort. We've been excited. We've been looking at privacy-first platforms forever and looking at how to integrate it into our system. One of the stories I often tell is like, how do I send my grandmother an e-card using blockchain? and it's like really, really challenging. And so the core of our platform that we'll be developing over the next 12 weeks is frictionless user authentication using smart contract wallets on EVM. So anyone can log in, they get an EVM wallet. They don't need to, they can sign in with social, and they're able to view and mint books using privacy as a service on Secret. So that creates a whole end-to-end flow. We also plan on being a marketplace aggregator across multiple chains. Over the last 2 years, we've closely observed the literary NFT space, which is huge and burgeoning. The amount of people minting on Solana, Ethereum, Polygon, Optimism, minting literary works, small poems, little crafts, even larger books like they do on our prototype README books, which is on Polygon Network now with live full books to read. That technology is going to enable people to have the full private library experience with Secret, basically sister contracts representing the secure data behind the thing. We're going after Amazon.
Now that we certainly are, we have identified that the Amazon Create Space acquisition back in 2013 was one of the last times that they really innovated with their self-publishing technology stack, and so we definitely want to enter that market and create some challenges for them. We also want to make this more open source and give authors more control. So that's kind of the Page DAO project in a nutshell.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. That was a great summary. All right. So I think that summarizes the 50WEI and Page DAO projects. Let's hear from Gov DAO about what they're building.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Oliver. I'm a co-founder of Gov DAO, and just want to kick off by saying thanks from myself and the rest of the DAO members for accepting us onto this grant program. We're really excited to build privacy as a service, as a tooling for our DAO technology. So thanks very much. So what is Gov DAO? Gov DAO was founded back in December 2021, basically with a single mission to build better governance by making a meaningful impact and contribution to the DAO space and DAO technology. And where we are a couple of years later is that we have a solid MVP, and that's ready to go, and that's being built out really for what we consider the four most important use cases for DAO technology, which is investment DAOs, as everyone's familiar with, trust DAOs and legacy planning DAOs, team and operational DAOs, and also charity and community DAOs. We have our own vision for how we see governance and DAOs working, and we're very much building that into the technology that we are providing. Privacy for governance is huge for DAOs, in our opinion, and it's a really important function that needs to exist because, of course, we all work on the basis that blockchain is amazing in terms of transparency, but when it comes to actual governance, there are real reasons for needing privacy. And we can go into that later, but we really hope that this is one of the big parts that we can play in making that meaningful impact by building that privacy into the governance functions itself.
Awesome. Thanks, man. So you three are kind of working together in a way as well, because you saw there might be a way that all three of you could use each other's technology, basically. I don't know who would be the best to speak to that or who kind of came up with that idea first, but do one of you kind of want to explain how you're working together? I know you kind of already did for 50WEI and Page DAO, but Gov DAO also is interested in using this technology that they are building.
It's kind of funny. We haven't heard from Cryptoversal yet. I think he might be a good person to explain this a little bit if he's available, or I could.
Well, my understanding is, and what I'm personally excited about, in terms of using privacy as a service with literature, contracts are a form of literature, and in governance, in legal work, having a contract on the blockchain um, would be very desirable, especially if you could make it selectively private, um, and enforceable. And so combining these technologies, having governance and publication and privacy all together, will really work together to advance the whole governance aspect of it.
Yeah,
When
and
governance is
that's
just so core.
sorry. Go for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on you. I think there's a little bit of a lag. Governance is just so core to being able to run something like the Page DAO, where we have this goal to represent all the books that exist on the blockchain, and people need to be able to trust that their assets will be dealt with fairly, stored in a decentralized way, and made available indefinitely. Kind of online, so that that there isn't this need to have the Internet Archive come in and back everything up, or Amazon come in and sell the rights to the book to some new publisher and they change the text, or whatever's happening that's making people unhappy with literature. We can kind of deal with all of this by saying, here's the governance. Here it is on chain. You can see how various different protocols have been passed. You can see how those interact with the assets that exist. And you can actually see sort of how the community is able to relate back to those and basically share them and build social reputation around the ones that are good. So it's less of kind of this penalty system for things that are bad. Sorry about that, Skrilla. Go ahead.
Yeah, cool. Actually, I was thinking, contracts are a form of literature, but also a lot of DAOs and a lot of projects have, a lot of discussion around their tokenomics and their white papers as well. Um, so potentially that could be a nice little partnership if if you guys are building this feature where you can publish, tokenomics plans privately, then potentially DAOs in our ecosystem could use that and could vote on the tokenomics plan that they want, and then reveal it to the public whenever they choose.
Yeah, I think to that point,
Yeah,
there's a lot of ways that these technologies could kind of be integrated and work together. And that's really that's the idea of this grants program, is that all of these are going to be open source technologies. The code base is going to be usable by anyone who wants to develop on Secret. And these things can become building blocks that they could be used in hundreds of applications in the future. It just opens the door to a lot of new things. And we have Alex and Heiss up here who might be able to speak to that a little bit more about how they envision um, these primitives, I guess you could say. You could call them privacy as a service primitives, maybe. It's just building blocks that can become something bigger.
Yeah, that's indeed one of the goals, right? So one goal is actually building really great and usable apps on Secret Networks, Secret Network, or using the confidential computing of Secret Network. But it's also creating stepping stones for further projects that would want to use the same kind of technology. So after a paged out project completes successfully, if somebody else wants to create something similar for music or video or images or whatever, they will just be able to take this open source code and use it. And I think that's awesome, right? Because that's how you build the ecosystem. It's how you build the developer power. And same for confidential voting, and same for other stuff. Now, we want to make sure that the projects don't feel that they are giving away their IP in case some of them want to keep some of the code closed. But in every case, we discuss it, and in most cases, and we want to keep it that way, we agree that all the code will be open for everyone, and definitely that specific code that can be reused. So again, this is of course one of the goals is building out the set of building blocks or primitives for the next projects and make it much easier to develop. Because really, what we need in Secret is something that exists, say, on Ethereum through Open Zeppelin and others. Like there is a rich set of different contracts that you can just come, take, and either use as is or modify a little bit. But I think this initial something that is ready is super important for developers. There is a huge difference between just a need to write something from scratch uh, and having some basic scaffolding or basic framework that you can use and then you can easily modify. And that's what we are doing both on our side, developing the Ethereum SDK, and on the grant side, where we help projects build this out for themselves, but also for everyone else. So yeah, so we're trying to kill all the birds, so to speak, with this program.
So let's talk about the timeline here. We have all these projects. They've started building. Over the next several weeks, we'll be putting out updates for sure. Does anybody want to speak to kind of like where they're at with their project at this moment? I know it's pretty early days, but maybe there's something you can share about what you're working on right now.
I think I see Robbie's hand up. Go for it, Indy.
Yeah, so we're really excited. We have our first experimental new front end for our application, which will allow someone to log in using any number of wallets on multiple chains and create an author profile. It's like a bare bones minimum, but what this author profile does is it allows us to attest to the ownership of a contract that an author has created on any chain. This is a huge use case for creators on multiple blockchains where there is no central or authoritative source of identity. And so a lot of what our platform is going to do is build trust. And the underneath that is a secure CMS that we're building that'll allow people to build and create groups. This is a lot that related to the DAO structure. So it's very easy to publish an NFT as an individual pretty much on any chain. It is very difficult to publish something as a group and have that attestation be understood correctly. And usually it ends up being one person from the project goes and deploys with their wallet because it's just easier. There's more tooling for individuals than there are for collectives. And what we're seeing is a migration towards a DAO centric space, or even like mini DAOs or like instantaneous DAOs that may be project oriented. A group of poets will get together, form a team, and that team will publish a thing together, and that team will have ownership and collect royalties as a team, which essentially makes them a mini DAO. So we're working on some of these core UI components and core database components to be able to store this information so that we can represent it accurately on chain and possibly using the tooling provided by other teams. And so we're excited to have the first part, get our authors on and get them creating assets with the basic functionality within the first couple of weeks, and with more functionality to come as we progress toward the end of the cycle.
Oh yeah, well said. Folks, I just want to add to that the assets that we're going to be supporting are going to be IRL and NFTs on kind of any chain. So the idea is that we're using Secret Network to build a cross-chain app for sort of all the literature, starting with books, but we'll be doing blogs and things later on. And those things can be minted with Alexandria Labs. They could be minted with SoulType or kind of any provider, including us. We're gonna also provide that. But content is getting portable, and that's going to make it a lot better to be a content creator from our side here at Page DAO. Yes, sir.
How about the Gov DAO team? What are you guys working on right now?
Yeah, so right now we're actually just partnering up with a development team that's already building on Secret Network to get our integrations done for the grant proposal. We're hoping to have a new front end and MVP out within the next month as well, so people will be able to demo it. Just before Christmas, we signed a partnership with FINA. So FINA is a team that's built on Secret Network. It's a wallet, and they're also launching a Visa debit card as well. So people will be able to get that, and they'll be able to top up with SNP tokens and go and spend those in any store in the real world that they want to. So that's an incredibly powerful tool, we feel, for DAOs as well, who often kind of struggle to get bank accounts and this kind of like normal business operations kind of things. So yeah, super excited about that. We're going to be looking within the Secret Network ecosystem for more potential partners that have features that will be useful for our product as well. And yeah, just want to put an open call out there to any DAOs that are building in the ecosystem that want to help us to test the product. Then please get in touch with me. You can reach me here on Twitter or on Telegram. Yeah, we'll let you jump in and get testing with us. Maybe there'll be some incentive later down the line, but we haven't really ironed that one out yet.
Awesome. All right. Well, we have a couple of hands raised in the audience already, so let's go ahead and open up the floor here for questions from the audience. If anybody would like to learn more about these projects and what they're building, I'm going to go ahead and bring one on stage now. All right, Rihanna, I think you can speak now.
Oh, hello, everyone. I just wanted to jump in and say that I'm part of the Page DAO and I work with Cryptoversal and T. Dylan Daniel and Indefatigable. And I'm community lead. And I just wanted to say how excited we are to be here. And thank you all for this opportunity. And we are so looking forward to illuminating and sharing all the things that we are doing. It's very exciting at the Page DAO, and we have a great team that is putting forward lots of publicity and lots of marketing. And so we are going to be so ready to welcome writers and authors and creators from everywhere, not only Web3 space, but everywhere. Like like earlier we said, we're taking on Amazon, and we are going to be a beautiful place for people to come to honor authors. So thank you so much. We really appreciate this.
That's awesome to hear. So you're actually a member of the Page DAO already.
Yes, I am. Yes, I've been a member of the Page DAO. Oh gosh, several years, a couple of years. Thank
Very
you.
cool. Yeah, so that's, I'm not sure if we emphasized that, but Page DAO is a project that's already been around for a couple of years, and they've been building on EVM chains for a while. So this is really just an extension of their product, and that's exactly what the idea of privacy as a service is that Secret can provide new functionality to existing projects on EVM chains, and maybe that's something that we can talk about a little bit more. Anybody who wants to take it, just the idea of you guys are building projects on EVM chains primarily, and then you're also getting some functionality out of Secret. What does that mean to you? Like, how is it important to you that you're able to build on an EVM chain and make use of that user base? I think that's something that a lot of projects within the Cosmos ecosystem, and I guess Web3 in general right now, is really realizing how important it is for multi-chain communication to be possible. Interoperability. Web3 has always been about interoperability in Cosmos as well, but we're getting to the point where even projects on Ethereum are able to communicate with projects on like Cosmos. It's becoming easier every day, and we're becoming silos are being torn down and walls are being torn down, and it's really just becoming one unified Web3 where everything can interoperate. So whoever wants to take that, I know that's kind of just like a open-ended question, just whatever your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, if I could take the first response to that, because I think it's really important that we have this possibility for having Secret as offering various services, privacy as a service. And the reason being is that I think cross-chain is important. I think we all want to tap into the various communities, and I think we've lived for many years as sovereign states on different blockchains essentially, but I don't think that's the future. And I think it's becoming more and more apparent, apparently, especially for particular services, that there is a requirement for certain things to be private. And I think definitely when it comes to things like operations of DAOs and potentially the context of what those DAOs are doing, privacy is needed. I mean, just for example, we offer advisory services and legal and regulatory advisory services, which require confidentiality and legal privilege. So if we're communicating or we're accepting client funds, then these are also the things that need to be private. So there is a real need for privacy as a service, and the fact that it can connect to EVM is even better.
Yeah, I'll jump in on that too. I mean, it's basically been the holy grail. I think what everyone has been pushing toward. There's kind of there's sort of a parallel to blockchains as independent that has like it's new territory. A new chain pops up. This one goes to the moon. All other chains fade into ignominy, and the reality is this interdependent system where in some cases communities like on Tezos, for example, there's like this huge artist community that have been minting for 1 Tez a piece for 3 years now. They even survived the folding of the largest marketplace on that ecosystem and spun up a clone, right? So like the user base is there, and there's no reason why an asset there couldn't be bought and utilized or shared, lent even to someone on any other chain. And what we're seeing is that we're heading closer to a sort of Web2 user experience, which is kind of making sure that people understand the basic units of crypto, but that our target audience is everyone who reads for PageDAO, and for Gov DAO, it's everyone who wants to conduct business using the most state-of-the-art business entity structures. And so I think we'll see this big merger continue. It is the future, and privacy is kind of at the heart of it.
I'll jump in too and just say we launched our prototype README books on Christmas Day 2021. And so ever since, we've been getting feedback. We've been on Twitter Spaces. We've talked to authors, who are members of the DAO, who aren't members of the DAO, all over the place. And what every single one of them wants, because README books assets are just completely public. So they're great for backing up legal documents. They're great for essays. It is a use case, and it is a good use case. But what authors want is the ability to make it so that you have to own the asset to read the material. And so we're going to build that.
And yeah, maybe also to give a few words about, I would say, privacy as a services. I just saw the future of blockchain to be kind of different ecosystem for different functionalities, because basically you can have a blockchain dedicated to one use case, and why not, instead of integrating your solution in another blockchain, why not just leverage the blockchain functionalities and use it for your product? And I think that this is a good direction for Secret Network, especially with privacy as a services, where instead of just copy paste, your application and put it on Secret Network, just use privacy as a services for your own use case and leverage the technology. And yeah, I think that for the future of blockchain, this is a new way of thinking the interaction between different blockchain and the way of leveraging technologies.
Yeah, I fully agree. I think, yeah, the confidential computing is what we do best, and we don't need all the world's applications to necessarily come and deploy on Secret. This won't happen, right? And we actually want to give what we do best everywhere, be it Ethereum, Polygon, Solana, anything. And we're getting there, right? We're getting there, and this way we will become an indispensable part of the blockchain architecture. So every blockchain out there and a lot of different apps, not all of them, but a lot of different apps will have to use us, right, in order to get those very cool features. And as we go and as we progress, confidential features will become a must. And certain kind of apps will just not work or will be expected to have confidentiality, and they will have to find the solution. And that will become eventually kind of a de facto standard, and that's, I think, where we should all strive to go. And by supporting the projects on Secret, we want to provide use cases to the world to see, oh, wow, really? So you could really sell books on blockchain and have the content on chain, but have it gated only to the owner. Oh, wow, you could do confidential voting. That's amazing. It's simple to do. So, and and I hope that in 3 years from now, every DAO out there will have a confidential voting feature, because it just makes sense, right? Because like every parliament in the world has, some votes are open, but some are confidential. So like, why shouldn't DAOs have the same capability? So yeah, modular architecture of the blockchain world. We don't need 10 or 100 or 1,000 blockchains doing exactly the same thing and competing and competing and fragmenting, liquidity and users and everything, right? We actually want technologies or projects to specialize on some specific infrastructure thing, being the best in that. And by the way, Secret doesn't have to be the only one. There may be others, but there needs to be this category of confidential computing providers and people who work with confidential computing providers. But that will be the reality. Modular, specialized, and as a result, excellent in what they're doing. So very excited about the future.
Yeah, it's good to see the user experience and the developer experience getting easier as well to build confidential compute into products. I remember when I first found Secret a few years ago, it was through some research to try and automate a supply chain job that I was at, and back then Secret wasn't ready for that kind of work. But now it seems like it's just getting easier and easier, and these barriers to adoption are coming down for a lot of businesses to start on board into Web3. Not just in the privacy space as well. It's things like there's lots of projects building Web3 IBAN numbers into their products now. So a business won't have to retrain their entire accountant department just to start using crypto. Yeah, it seems like a lot of these walls are finally coming down, and obviously confidential information is a necessity for a competitive business. So very excited to be at the frontier of privacy as a service and Secret Network.
Thanks, guys. We're excited to have you here building with us. So we've kicked off the Q1 grants program. We have these projects building. Over the next month or two, we'll be putting out plenty of updates on how things are going. I think probably you can also follow all of their respective project accounts if you want to learn a little bit more than what even the Secret Network account is sharing. We'll definitely be putting out updates on the Secret Network Twitter as well, but make sure you follow all these projects, stay up to date, get involved with their communities, and thanks for being here today, everybody. Before we wrap things up, I wanted to also mention some opportunities for developers. If there's anybody out there wanting to build with privacy as a service, just like these grant projects, we do have the grants program Q2 cohort, which will be opening up sometime in March, I believe. Probably about mid-March is when we'll officially start taking applications. However, it's not too early to go ahead and start reading up on the documentation, the development process, and even submitting an early grant proposal on the Secret Labs GitHub. For more information on that, just check out the Secret Network website, go to the blog. There's a blog about the grants program. All of the important information is in there, but it's definitely not too early to start looking into it and start planning your project. And we're happy to start discussing it with you as well, just give you some early insight and ideas on what you're building. So check that out. And also, we have the Hack Secret Hackathon, which is going to be kicking off on Thursday. February 1st is the official beginning. And if you've not already signed up, definitely check that out. Make sure you sign up. I believe you can sign up at any point during the hackathon, but obviously getting in early will give you more time to work on your project. So if you're interested in that, also go to the Secret Network website. There's also tweets going out constantly, and it should be pretty easy to find. But I'll go ahead and pin that announcement here just to make it even easier for people to find. So that'll be starting on Thursday, and we'll be doing a presentation on Discord if you want to join that. Be happy to have anybody who's interested in building on Secret. And there's also a $15,000 prize pool that goes along with that. So that's what's happening this week on Secret. Does anybody have any closing remarks or anything else that they didn't get to say already before we wrap things up?
I'd say LFG, let's build this and let's rock, and I'm sure it will be a huge success. And from the lab side, any support that's needed, we're here. Let us know. We are here to make you successful in what you're building. So that's my wrapping remark.
I'd like to say thanks again to Secret Labs and Secret Network Foundation and all the rest of the team for believing in us and our team and our product. And I'd also like to say good luck to anyone that's participating in Hack Secret over the next couple of weeks, because that's going to be fantastic to see some new products being built as well.
Yeah, I will
Good luck,
second
everybody.
that. Thank you so much to the Secret Foundation and Secret Network for making all of this possible. Secret Labs, you guys rock. This technology is amazing. We cannot wait to put it into use in the field and get some applications going here.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to seeing what you guys build. It's going to be an exciting month. And next week, we're also going to be featuring 2 more grant recipients, the other 2 that weren't included on this one. So make sure you tune in next week, same time, Tuesday, 5 p.m. UTC. We'll be talking to Reclaim, and let's see, what's the other one? Dude, I'm blanking on what the other one was. What's that?
D-Casino.
That's it. Yes, D-Casino. That's gonna be a cool one too. Building a privacy preserving casino on Secret Network. So definitely don't miss that. It'll be an exciting conversation, I'm sure. But thanks for being here, everybody. Tune in next week, and until then, have a good one.
Thank you very much.